Okay, so here I am chatting with Fiona Bryan, a friend of mine, but also one of my clients who comes into the sessions. Fiona has a bit of a hidden gift and talent. She is an online coach for mental, I suppose, coupled with physical health as well. So she looks after her own health as she comes into the sessions, and she's offered support through lockdown. And in a second, I'll give Fiona a chance to talk about exactly what she does. So Fiona Bryan Coaching, give us a little insight into actually what that is and what you do and why it's so important.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Lou. Fiona Bryan Coaching is a strand of another business that I run, which is a management development training business. But what I've noticed through lockdown is that there are an awful lot of people out there that are feeling lonely or anxious or not being able to cope with the changes that COVID has brought about. And because of that, I want to expand the coaching part of my business and start to get people into a group situation similar to what we do with you on the fitness, but to get people doing a bit of group coaching together so that they can share experiences, share challenges, and I'll be there to facilitate it, and get people sort of setting goals and achieving goals and achieving what it is they need to do to help with their mental health, which obviously goes hand in hand with physical health, which is why I think there's a good link to what you do and what I plan to do.
Yeah, definitely. I know that I've referred a couple of people to you in the past and they've given you some really positive feedback. One thing I do notice around the coaching that I do, which is mostly all physical, but even with the role that I play in helping people improve their physical health with nutrition, there really is a big part to play in mental health as well. And I think people still have got that taboo around the subject, A, not to talk about it, and B, not to deal with it really, which is really, really important, which is why, you know, people like yourself are really important to reach out to. If there is anything that you want to sort of get off your chest, talk about, or speak to somebody on a level where, you know, it might not be a family member that helps you, it might be somebody that you've met along the way. And as well, you know, for a lot of people, they've seen you in the sessions, they trust you, they, you know, that you're somebody that they can go to and talk to. And you know, like I said, you've had some really positive feedback from some of the group members, and it seems to have really helped, because when people are on a journey, which a lot of people are, trying to improve their physical appearance or physical health, you know, mental health is such a strong role to play. And that's really something that you know, really empower and move forward, which is absolutely fantastic.
And I think also, Lou, although I'm part of the group and people know me as being part of the, you know, sort of the 9 o'clock session every morning, I'm still a relative stranger. And I think sometimes it's easier for people to talk to somebody that they're not that close to.
Yeah.
And I've been there, done it, got the t-shirt. I did 15 years as a cop. So there's not an awful lot you can say that will shock me. I've also been on my own life journey. So, you know, I can resonate with people's anxieties and lack of confidence. And I think because I'm a little bit detached, sometimes it's easy just to talk to a stranger.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that. I mean, you just mentioned the word anxiety. There is an awful lot of people feeling anxious, uncertain about the future, and especially there were more changes announced by the government today, or there will be over the coming days. Who knows
Yeah.
if there's going to be a second lockdown? And you know, one thing that really doesn't sit easy with some people is any form of change, any form of
Absolutely.
sort of uprooting from normal
Yeah.
normal life. And so, what kind of just touching on, what kind of coping mechanisms would you maybe employ to help people? What sort of strategies would you work alongside if somebody was to sort of ask you for advice?
I think the first thing to do is to recognise what's causing the anxiety and what's causing the lack of confidence, and get to the root of the problem. And often what happens with people is they lose confidence in themselves, and that then spills over into confidence in being able to do things. And what we need to do is to get right back to why is it you're feeling less confident about yourself. And so we'll do some work around exploring self-limiting beliefs, which are those little voices in your head that tell you can't do stuff. We need to turn that negative language into positive language, so we can do some stuff around that. And also just getting people to kind of recognize that the emotions that they feel going through change are all normal and natural, and we all have them. Once you recognize them, then you can start dealing with them.
Yeah.
It's the people that put their head in the sand and won't admit those feelings that are the people that are harder to help.
You said about recognizing the voice inside your head, and even I've got that. I you know, often have sort of self-doubt moving forwards, and I have to positively reinforce that change. And for me, physical, I mean, they're coupled so massively with each other, physical and mental, obviously. Well, it's not obvious for some people, but that feeling that you get after exercise really sort of almost switches something inside my brain that says, hang on a minute, everything that you thought before, shut up, kind of thing, because you can do it. Of course you can. And it's literally almost like two sides of a coin. And I don't know if you feel the same about, obviously you look after your own physical health, but do you feel the same about the way that sort of mental health is coupled with that?
Absolutely. And, you know, if I had £1 for the number of people that had ever said to me, how did I get here? And when are they going to find me out? I would be a millionaire, because we all have it. And it's called imposter syndrome. And it's that those voices that say, you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough, you're not big enough. And the physical fitness for me, although, as you know, I've got a few physical ailments that I have to battle with. Even so, there's certain things that I can do. There's certain things I can't physically do, and I just accept that and move on. And it's the same in life. You know, we talk about dealing with things that you can control and that you can influence, and we won't concentrate on the things that you can't. And that's what I'll help people to do. A bit like when we go into the fitness classes, if you can't do the full burpee, you do a regression. And I do practically everything on a regression, but it doesn't matter, because at least I'm doing something and I'm achieving something for myself. And that's what the coaching will do as well.
Yeah. And you know, just about that physical movement coupled with the, you know, the mental health, you know, every single day, again, reinforcing. And I do think there's a sort of a period of time after you've exercised that you can tell yourself, you know, I'm better, I'm okay, and sort of have that positive reinforcement. So maybe, you know, it'd be interesting to see if there's a good time to have a conversation. So finally, where can people find you then? How can we get hold of you? If we want to speak to Fiona Bryan Coaching, how do we get hold of you?
Okay, well, what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks is I'm going to be launching a Facebook group very similar to the one that you've got, and on it it'll have all the details about how to get in touch, and the packages that I'm going to be offering, whether that be group coaching or individual one-to-one coaching. But for now, I'm on Facebook, so you can get me on Fiona Bryan Facebook, and I'll be putting some details up there in the not too distant future.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Fiona. Great to speak to you.
Thank you.